for me, I cannot say to my Ifugao friends, no, or to my Kankanay friends, continue living in your homes, in your ballet. Continue living. No, they have all the right to what modern convenience. They have all the right to education. They have, tayo kasi, mga contemporary lowland Filipinos, we like to think of them as something, the noble savage. We still have that baggage. No, they are people, they are Filipinos like us. They are entitled to what we have, to what we are able to have. We cannot put them in that vacuum. And little by little, because of education, they are beginning to change too. And they have all the right to change. And for me, that is where collectors, museums, anthropologists can come in. It's because by part of that is the debt is choosing to discard the detritus of their material culture. Number one, wala na sa kanila yun. Hindi na importante. It's not in the present. But we keep it for them. We keep it for us. We keep it to exchange among a small community of people who admire and who like. We are able to place important collections in museums. That's where the collector is important. That's where we are important. Because this constant detritus will happen. It will continue to happen for as long as people change. Because tanggapin natin, the old ways are no longer important or practical. Just as much as we like to say, just as wearing the terno or the barot saya every day is, or the barong Tagalog every day, or even that, we're guilty of that. Hindi ba? So as long as there is change happening in a society, that's where the collector stands as important. Now, what is left? Yung iniisip na, what is left of the indigenous people? What is valuable for them? For example, sa Ifugao ngayon, ibebenta nila ang bulol, itatago nila ang gansa, the musical instrument, because that's part of the intangible heritage which they bring out, and that I love. Pinakagusto ko yon. Makikita mo sa mga rituals, sa harvest rituals, yung mga batang naka-jeans, naka-t-shirt, nagmomoma, nga, tumutugtog ng gansa, and their gansa playing is so vibrant. Ano yung matitira? What is kept is what is important to them. Let them be the judge of what is important to them. We cannot tell them na, no, this has to stay there. I hate this purist mentality na it has to stay with them. Ay, wala na sa kanila eh. Baskets are beautiful, but right now, plastic is more important. Is that bad? Aesthetically, maybe. But then, choice nila yon. It is a choice. And we have to give them that agency.
Sure,
there's a lot
important.
of discussion now about the beautiful, the gold necklace which Beauty Gonzalez wore. I understand where they're coming from. But you have to understand also na bagamat there's the 2010 law which says that everything excavated belongs to the government, right? You have to understand the rampant 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s diggings that were going on. This was 1960, half a century away. And dadalhin sa Maynila yung mga nahuhukay. Alam mo, yung mga hindi nabibili, pinaparte, minemelt, dinadala sa Bukawi, tinutunaw for the gold value. Because, again, aanuhin naman nung mga taga Samar, let's say, or Butuan, aanuhin nila yung gintong nahukay kung hindi nabili, kung hindi naging cash, di tunawin na lang. So, a lot of the important gold that we see in the Bangko Central, that we see in the Ayala Museum collections, which are outstanding public collections, and a lot of the ones that are in private collections, these were actually salvaged from the melting pot. Kasi yun ang reality dun sa mga nagdidig eh. Hindi mo naman pwede sa kanilang sabihin na, itago nyo yan. Bakit? Hindi ko makain yan. Kailangan kong again, the practical concern, kailangan pakainin ng pamilya ko. Kailangan ko yan. And rather than kung hindi mabenta, sunugin, na lang, i-melt na lang, tinda sa per kilo. A lot of the things which are now being shown, which are being worn publicly, a lot of these things, yes, lahat naman yan galing sa patay. Lahat naman yan, I feel, talagang galing sa grave. Now, were they robbed? In a sense, yes. Totoo yun. But then, that was the reality of the times. These pieces exist today because someone bothered to buy them. Somebody bothered to keep them. At hindi lang pinadala sa may kawayan para tunawin. Take the case of the famous Golden Tara. which is now in the Chicago Field Museum, that beautiful object, the Golden Tara, which was found by a Manobo woman in Agusan. Sino ang nag-raise ng money para bilhin yon? If I'm not mistaken, maybe it was a society of American women and men who decided to raise money to buy it kasi wala makabili sa Pilipinas nung owner, nung nakabili. So in a way, the collector, the museum, these are important, especially for us, because they preserve what would have otherwise been lost.